Hi, welcome to the Snap Pouch Queen Purse tutorial. For this, you can choose the length of your pouch. I'm going to go for quite a smallish one. The top across here needs to be 4.5 inches, but the length can be any length that you would like it to be. And you need to choose 2 out of your main fabric, 2 out of your lining fabric. And once you've done that, you need to mark, you put them right sides together, the 2 main bits of fabric, and the same for the lining fabric. And you're going to mark from the top 2.5 inches. Make sure it's lined up nicely. There we go. 2.5 inches on both the lengths from the top. Just put a little dash there and a little dash there. You're going to do the same on the lining. You're also going to add on the lining a dash at 1 centimetre in from each edge. And when we sew, we're going to start here, we're going to back stitch, sew down here, pivot and turn, sew to here, back stitch, leave that open so we can turn that through, start again sewing here, back stitch, pivot, come up to our point here and again back stitch. And then for your main fabric, you're going to sew back stitch all the way down, across, all the way up and back stitch there. That's for step 1. Right, so we've sewn around all of our main fabric and we have sewn around, left a gap at the bottom for our lining and sewn around to the other side. What we're going to do now is trim our corners. Be careful not to touch your stitches. Okay, so once they are sewn all the way around the main fabric and sewn across here, leaving a gap at the bottom of the lining and sewn up to our marked area, we're going to clip the corners on the 2 bottom ones, and the next stage we're going to start to join these together. So we're going to get the main fabric, we're going to open it out at the top, the same for the lining, and we're going to join these 2 together up to our sewn edge. So we're going to join the top bit and pin that together. Then I'm going to do the side edge, and you'll notice that both of our sewn edges should meet up nicely, measured at 2.5 inches down. Same on the other side. So that's one side done. We're now going to flip the lining over. We'll turn it round and meet the 2 top edges of this side and repeat that process. So it looks like this. You have the floating part of the pocket in the middle, and we have got this in place. So you're going to take it to the machine. You're going to start at the join of your stitching here, back stitch, go across, pivot across the top, down here, back stitch here, and stop. And then you're going to do the same on this side. You're going to start here, back stitch, go to the top, pivot, come across, come down and back stitch down here. Right, so I've just taken that to the machine and I have sewn from here, back stitched across and down on this side, and then did the same for this one, going down and across and up. So what we're going to do now is just trim those corners. And the next stage is to reach up through the hole here and start turning through the fabric. Okay, so I've turned this through and made sure all of my corners are out and straight. So take your time getting that done. The lining, what you're going to do now again is make sure your corners are completely turned through, and then you're going to tuck in the seam line and the gap, and we're going to press that together just to make it slightly easier. Just get rid of that thread. Right, so let's do that again. Tuck that in. It should follow along the seam line, and then you can blind stitch across here or ladder stitch. I'm going to do, because this is going to be in the very bottom of the pouch, unlikely to be seen, I'm going to do a top stitch. I will be doing it in black thread for you to see, but use your coordinating thread so that it doesn't show. I'm going to go ahead and give this a press, turn the lining in, holding it in, making sure the corners all nicely tucked in, and then give this a press. The next stage will be our snap flexi fastener. Right, preparing for the next stage. So we've turned it all in and gave it a press. Now for this stage we're going to make the top for our snap closure to go into. And what we're going to do, you've got two choices. You can turn the fabric over so the lining is showing, and you are joining to that stitch line there, and we will be top stitching all the way down here. Or you can turn it inwards and do the same on this side. So you need to choose whether you would like your pouch to keep the main colour fabric all the way on there, or whether you would like to add your contrasting fabric coming over as a feature. And I think I'm going to probably do my contrasting fabric, and for my top stitch I'm going to probably do a fancy stitch going across the top here. So you're going to do that on both sides. You're only going across the length here, you're not closing the ends in because we need to put our snap fastener through there. Right, on to the last part of completing our pouch. So I folded mine over and decided on a top stitch going across. Now getting your hardware, you should have in your pack your internal flexi snap, and oops, you should have your, it should open, it should be joined at one end, and you should have your pin, and over at this end, one end is closed, one end is open with the metal bit. That's really important. So the open end is where we're going to place the pin once we've joined these together, and then we'll bend that over and close it. So I'm going to feed this through our pouch, and I'll feed about halfway through, and then we need to bend this. Obviously it's a flexi one, so it's okay in bending. There we go. And you're going to place this through the tops of your bag. I'm going to push your fabric down. So it comes through like this. The next thing we're going to do is join these two together and place our pin through the top here and put the metal bit down. So this part is the fiddly part. Put those together there. Get our pin. So that's gone in. And then, oh, that's quite hard to bend over, so you might want to get some pliers to bend and close that top there. Right, okay, so once you have closed that down, you can push your fabric back and you've created your own snap pouch. I'll be using mine as a little coin purse to go with my So Hipster bag. Hope you've enjoyed it.